Hi everyone, well here's a review of another one of the samples that we exchanged at our recent New York City meetup. This one being Bardstown Bourbon Company, Discovery Series number 11, 118.1 proof. And this sample is courtesy of my friend David Drickhouse. I am a huge fan of David Drickhouse. He has some amazing content. Just a few examples are his great blinds that he does, most specifically with rye. He loves his rye. High rye bourbons and especially rye, straight rye whiskeys. His this or that, dram, drink, or drain, always love those. And even his most recent video where he did an interview with an actual founder of a tequila company. So he's expanding all over the place. Definitely follow David Drickhouse. He's a good guy and he's got really amazing content. Definitely follow David Drickhouse. So to get started with this one, I only have experience one time in trying anything from the Bardstown Bourbon Company. And I tried something from one of the other series, the more basic series when I was in Florida. I had never even seen one of these bottles by me, and I found one in Florida, had it, enjoyed it. But this one is the Discovery Series. This is at a different level, and from what I understand and expect, somewhat better than that. This is, what it is, this distillery is the Bardstown Bourbon Company and undisclosed Kentucky distillery. So the same thing with the last one that I tried. It is a mixture of undisclosed distilleries and their own distillate. And it basically shakes out like this. This is a blend of 6, 10, and 13-year-old bourbons. And the mash bill is a blend of bourbon. So basically what you have is 73% of this distillate is 13-year-old Kentucky bourbon. Again, that's undisclosed. And that part is 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. Then you have 21% of 10-year-old Kentucky bourbon, also undisclosed. 78% corn, 13% rye, 9% malted barley. And then the final part is the 6% of 6-year-old Kentucky Bardstown bourbon. That's their own distillate. 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. And here's the kicker. That 6% is aged entirely in French oak barrels. So I am like really fascinated by this. I find this being the second time, this is a very similar pattern. I just love the way they blend these bourbons. There seems to be a very big skill of this distillery, and the way they incorporate several different mash bills, several ages, as well as their own distillate and those of undisclosed. So I just think this is a great combination, and I've heard so much about the Discovery Series, and including this Discovery number 11. So let's get this in a glass and get started. Okay, so we have this in a glass, and I'm giving it a nose right away. There is a lot of sweetness coming out of this. I mean, there is sweetness here. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things hitting me here. I would say the usual caramel vanilla, but I'm not sure if that's cinnamon or cherry or it's just extremely sweet on the nose. It's not hitting me with a ton of ethanol at 118.1 proof. That's just very pleasant. Let's get right into the taste. Cheers. That's quite nice. That is nice. That's a nice finish. That's delicious. Now, I'm thinking about the different mash bills, which I did write down. And I would say the interesting thing here is the rye content in the first two, which have rye, because the 6-year-old only has wheat, is 13%. That's a wild turkey, a mash bill. I mean, a wild turkey amount of rye. It's, it's some rye, but it's nothing crazy. But I am getting some spice on this. And I am tasting, now that I mentioned that 6% has French oak, it does remind me of certain bourbons I've had that have been aged in French oak. There is a little bit of a spice to it. Maybe that's what that is, but I know French oak definitely gives it some, a little bit of oomph, It really does kind of add a little zest to it. Getting vanilla. Maybe that's the cinnamon on there, but I am getting some rice spice. And then, of course, you have that 20% wheat. In the 6%, I'm not picking up the wheat as much, and that's probably because it's in the 6%. So the way this is shaking out is I'm expecting that, basically 73% of this is a 13-year-old bourbon, which has that 75 corn, 13 rye, 12 mash bill, and then the 21%. I'm expecting that a lot of this is going to be coming, obviously, from that 13-year-old. So despite that, I do taste the French. I do get some of that input from the French oak and the 6%. But I'm getting a good degree of rye spice even with that 13% rye in the first and second components of this. Actually reminds me a little bit of it was a Blue Note Cross. That's the one. Blue Note Crossroads. I had that also when I was in Florida. Two parts of that. The raisin taste on the palate, and that was aged in French oak. And there is something subtly about that I'm getting in here from the French oak component. And I don't know, some raisin taste and some cinnamon and vanilla. There's just a lot of good stuff. Degree of spice, nice finish. This is a winner. This is absolutely delicious. So, David, thank you. Follow David's Rickhouse. I got to say this again. Again, great guy, great content. He just has some great videos. You just have to follow David's Rickhouse and definitely watch everything he's got. I learn a lot from it, and I always find it enjoyable. And what's nice is that he always encourages comments and participation in such things as the dram, drink, drain, this or that, and everything else. So I'm always on there, and I'm right in deli. So anyway, thanks again. Cheers. Take care. More reviews to come. And thanks for watching. Take care.